Hello everybody, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about why I believe CRISPR will have a comeback. Just like you see here on the screen here from my X post just earlier on this beautiful Sunday. Wherever you are, hopefully it is as beautiful as it is in Toronto. Beautiful day. Gorgeous weather, lots of sun. I spent most of the day outside there, just getting a little bit of tan. Beautiful, beautiful day. What a great way to end the weekend. And speaking of a great way to end the weekend, I thought about it. I said, man, like in yesterday's meetup, we talked about it. Some people started asking me about CRISPR and so on. And it's kind of interesting as you converse with individuals. The first thing I kept saying is you have to be in it for a long term. And that was basically my opening couple of sentences into the conversation. The reason why is because CRISPR has experienced an extremely unfair price, market cap, however you want to say it, in the stock market of all these CRISPR companies. Genomics companies, biotech as a whole, have been hit hard since 2021, bear market since 2021. Again, I think the pandemic sort of hyped a lot of these companies up, unfortunately. Although some of those companies in the biotech space had no space being worth what they were at the time. CRISPR companies like CRISPR Therapeutics has what, $3 billion market cap. I mean, think about it. $3 billion doesn't even justify its current valuation when you think about the fact that they have, what, $2 billion cash, maybe even more now, that, they have a approved program that worth $2.2 million per therapy. We just saw that in yesterday's video last night. And we talked about the U.S. administration, the newest administration, publicizing what they did on Friday. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, do watch yesterday's video. That was a interesting find, again, from one of our members of our community. And again, guys, keep that education going, right? Post on X, post on Reddit, post on these videos, right? I don't want to be the only one talking about CRISPR, guys. I want other people to talk about it. And it's not about hyping up the space or hyping up these companies. It's about getting the message out. CRISPR is here to stay. CRISPR will have a comeback in the public markets. It's just a matter of when. It's been 3 years since it's been beaten down, over 3 years now, 3 years and a half. I would argue almost 4 years at this, pretty much 4 years that it's been beaten down. I'm looking for a comeback, and I think this comeback is going to happen very, very soon. Again, not financial advice. It is going to happen very, very soon. I mean, you look at Caribou doing some of these changes a couple of days ago, for example, refocusing their pipeline, stating that they're going to get 2 robust clinical data sets from CBO10 and CBO11 for the second half of 2025, cutting workforce by about 32%, extending their cash runway into the second half of 2027, which of course is in 2 years and a half there. So they have some time here. They're basically extending their runway here, refocusing their company. And again, that's one of the main CRISPR companies in this space. And I think a lot of these companies going through this, right? You look at, another post here. Where is it? Intellia, first patient dose finally for phase 3 magnitude 2 study for Nex-z, which happens to be commercial available potentially by 2028. Something maybe 2027, maybe looming, but I think it's going to be more 2028. They're getting that stuff out, right? These things are happening as we're speaking. And again, a lot of these companies had to go through these tough times in the markets in the last 3 years and a half, potentially 4 years in a bear market in the genomic space. Yet ARK Invest keeps buying these companies. Why? Because we're still early, guys. Just think about this. In 2023, end of 2023, CRISPR Therapeutics became the first program to have a first approval program. What happens when Intellia gets there? Not with their Nex-z, but the other program, or even with Nex-z. What happened when Beam gets there with base editors, right? Again, Intellia with in vivo Beam Therapeutics comes in with ex vivo, still with sickle cell disease, but base editors, scaling up those patient size. The problem with Casgevy right now is that it takes a long time to get a patient dose. Because of that, they can only do a couple of hundred per year. What happens when base editors comes into play? Beam's promise is, we don't have that limitation. Let's expedite that with their technology and their progress. What happens when Prime Medicine gets in the space of approved program with Prime editors going even next level with complex diseases and so on? Again, I'm not saying Beam's going to take over CRISPR Therapeutics or Intellia is going to take over these companies. It's just a matter of time. There will be a time where CRISPR companies will have a comeback. The question is when. And when I mean comeback, I'm not saying that they're going to 10x their price stock market or 5x. Not a financial advice. I'm not putting a stock price to it. I'm just stating the obvious, guys. A lot of people in this community have been following this space very closely. We've seen the downs. We've seen the ups in 2020, 2021. A lot of people in the community left us. I mean, I don't see any videos from CRISPR Tommy. Actually, CRISPR Tommy's name came up. That's someone on the meetup said there was this professor who was talking about CRISPR early on, and even I couldn't remember CRISPR Tommy's name, but earlier today I was like, man, that's CRISPR Tommy. So even CRISPR Tommy left us in the community, right? And I don't want to be the last or the first person or the only person to be covering these companies or these stocks or even the technology itself. I want more people to come out there. But for us to get there, there has to be a comeback. I feel like it's very much kind of depressing for a lot of folks. A lot of people kind of left the space. A lot of people are still hanging on. I think there is hunger, especially with the meetup yesterday. I think there's hunger. People want to learn about it, but people are afraid because of the biotech space. A lot of red tape has to go away. A lot of education has to happen. And of course, more progress have to be done with these programs. Let's cut these delays, cut the costs, cut the barriers of entry. Let's get it out there. Let's get CRISPR really out there. There was a wave in 2020, 2021 with documentaries with CRISPR on Netflix, on HBO. We need more of that, right? I just feel like we're kind of falling behind. Even the book from Walter Isaacson, which we actually talked about yesterday in the meetup as well. We need more of that, right? And for us to get there, I just feel like we're at the cusp of it. And again, this is not just a feeling or so on. These are things I'm seeing trend, viewership on our videos, posts on X.com. And there's a lot of people on X.com that I want to shout out, like Yair, like Gene Investing with Anthony. I mean, there's so many people on X.com doing their work. Keep doing the work, guys. Keep liking these videos. Keep sharing it. We gotta do more of it. It's a matter of time. And of course, if you have the money, if you want to do it, if you built the conviction for it, again, not financial advice, but why not dip your toes in these companies? The price valuation has been extremely beaten down. I think they're fairly valued. Not just fairly, I think they're undervalued, these companies. I mean, man, CRISPR Therapeutics at $3 billion, and they own over $2 billion of cash, and they have a approved program that can potentially make billions of dollars. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch some of our videos in the past. I go over some of the calculations. I'm not going to do that today, maybe for a future video again, but let's keep sharing these videos, guys. There is going to come a time where these companies are going to shine. CRISPR will come mainstream. You don't want to miss the wave. It's the hockey stick technology curve, guys. The S curve. You guys got to remember the S curve. We're at the beginning of the S. You don't want to be at the end of the S or the top of the S, okay? Just remember that. So I'll end this video like this, guys. As always, subscribe if you haven't. Please do subscribe. A lot of you watch our videos, haven't been subscribed. Please subscribe. Log in on YouTube and just subscribe. Like these videos, guys. It puts our videos on people's homepage. Keep sharing it. Keep commenting. What do you guys think? How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys during the week. Have a beautiful Sunday night.